Hello YouTube, this is Dakota from Bowtied Media, and today we've got another installment of This Week in EDM, where we go over songs that came out this past week in EDM. Yes, we are a little late on this one again. Life is a little hectic right now. If there aren't videos for a while, it is because I have had a baby. Let's go! Yeah, it's very exciting. So just know that that is on the horizon for me. We're welcoming my wife and I a little daughter soon, so that is very exciting. But without any further ado, let's hop into the songs that I believe to be, first of all, bad for this past week. Starting us off in the bad category is Vicetone featuring Welt with Dive In. Sadly, another underwhelming Vicetone house track. I have no idea what compels them to keep this kind of now signature synth sound, but it's so boring and so lifeless, and I just don't understand how they are still making the same song time and time again. These guys were once one of the premier house producers, but now they're just husks. Then we got SABAI, Somna, and RUNN with I Miss You. This song prefaces as a cookie-cutter melodic dubstep track, and it is rightfully at the beginning, but kind of turns on a dime into a festival progressive house track with a genre and pacing switch-up that finds itself within a pretty rough transition that really doesn't even last after the rest of the song's like 20 seconds. I mean, sure, props for trying something new, but it just didn't land, so much so that even at a festival, this kind of, I just don't think this lands. People go, oh, yay, sure. Then we've got Adventure Club and Coleman Hell with Move. I'm really not sure what the song is trying to do. Is it trying to be Avicii? Is it trying for commercial success and radio plays? It's just kind of an odd track with no real EDM energy. It's got a simple acoustic guitar and a harmonica melody, yet it's not really country, and again, it's not really EDM-y. This track just sort of is stuck in this weird limbo state. Then we've got the RAIZHELL remix of G-Rex, STUCA, and ICECOLDBISHOP's Foul. I feel like I enjoyed the original more so than the average kind of Monster Cat or EDM listener of Foul, but man, this remix just isn't helping the song's case at all. It's a generic drift funk with kind of little unique or interesting things about it, and I firmly believe that slowdowns are really hard to execute well in that kind of drift funk genre, and the one right in the middle of this track just didn't land. And then moving into the meh category, we've got MitiS, Amidy, Crystal Skies, and Linney with In the End. Another melodic dubstep track that has its strongest elements outside of the drops, as those drops are really quite generic and lack anything of substance. But I thought the vocals were great otherwise. They just didn't really have that oomph of the production to really back them up. Then we got Manila Killa featuring Dean Mitchell with Talk My Shit. A fine tech house track that very much is built for the club setting with a firm bass line and constant beat. I don't mind the talk and the, talk my shit lyricism styles, but I mean, whatever. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really do anything for me one way or another. Then we've got the Kohen remix of Love You for the Summer, originally by Nicky, Romero, Öwnboss, and Oaks. A garage take on the commercial house original that really doesn't do a whole ton differently with the melody or tone of the track, keeping things fairly tame. I would say this track is an improvement over the original, but not by much. Then we got Pixel Terror with Too Close. I'm supposedly in the minority here, but I enjoyed this cover of Alex Clare's iconic 2011 track of the same name. But yeah, Pixel Terror takes a more kind of rock-centric tone and with a kind of crushing bro-step finale to each drop. Yeah, I thought it worked for the most part, but yeah, the more I did listen to this track, the more those kind of rock elements started to wear on me. I still think it is better than 90% of the other EDM covers out there, though. Then we got Culture Shock, Grafix, and sadHAPPY with Giants. For such a big triple collab here, I was surprised how generic the melody ended up being. Yeah, more than anything, this just kind of felt like a, hey, let's get all of our names onto a song and hope it streams well kind of track, because it's incredibly safe and generic for drum and bass standards, as well as the kind of standards of each of these own producers in their own right. I just don't think it's a bad song, it's just a touch underwhelming. Then we're moving into the the good category, we've got Abandoned with Frontline. A great balance of a more commercial-leaning melodic dubstep sound like Seven Lions and a more niche one like AU5's sound design. A line that Abandoned does quite frequently play between and to great success most of the times. I thought the vocals were also great on this track as well. Then we got Dustycloud with Addiction, a hard techno track from Dustycloud with a really nice and bright synth melody that keeps the song feeling a little bit happier in tone despite the kind of crushing low end of things. This is a great example of how to balance a kind of light and dark style of a track. Then we got Dr. P and Flux Pavilion with WDGAF, which means pretty much we don't give a fuck. New single from this upcoming LP from these two will surely be a massive project. This song very much also embodies that style and tone of modern Dr. P and Flux Pavilion into one sort of charming, slightly silly bro step track that leans heavily into that 1-2 snare kick that dominates the festivals and raves of today. Then we got TANUKI with Equinox. Nice to see some more drum and bass on Chompo, and this more aggressive dance floor style does fit right at home within the label's ecosystem. TANUKI is a new artist to me personally, and while I don't think this track is anything too special within that grand scheme of drum and bass, it's executed quite well, and I do love the bright melody on the back half of this track. Then we got KSHMR featuring Shy Nico and Dottie with 7 Days of Freak. KSHMR has returned to his more Indian-focused sound design, and this song is exactly why I think that's some of his strongest stuff. This is a modern bass house cut with lots of jittery synths and a hip-hop edge to the whole thing that may not be up to kind of KSHMR's typical or may not be up his typical alley, but its sound design, it's that really brings the whole thing together and makes it sound very KSHMR in nature. Then we've got Burkham with Ephemeral, a light and atmospheric track with a pretty natural setting to it. Very much an indie meets glitch kind of track with a simple melody and a vibrant palette. Another calming, chilled out track from Burkham. Then we've got Virtual Riot and Diesel featuring Shaq with Damage. I guess Diesel and Shaq are the same person, but regardless. This is a nice drum and bass tune that's dominated by Virtual Riot and has a variety of D&B styles from jump up to dance floor to neurofunk. Shaq's rapping here isn't anything crazy, but definitely not bad. Overall, thought it was a pretty fun collaboration track. Then we got Just a Gent featuring Sammy Constantine with The Last Time from the new sort of archived compilation album of sorts. Speaking of, this is a collection of new tunes that didn't quite make the cut on, I think, his most recent record. And I haven't really gone through all the songs yet, but this one in particular I did quite enjoy. It's clearly a little rougher around the edges in terms of mixing and dynamicism, but it's still a wonky, future-based trap style that I resonate with, even if that psytrance finale I didn't really care for. Then we got Chet Porter with Probably, a lovely new Chet Porter track that, just sounds very relaxed and laid back in atmosphere with lots of natural progression and more subtle mix-ups. A purely instrumental 5-minute track is fairly rare in today's landscape, and this song just showed me how much I miss it. And we got Retrovision with Feel Your Love, a bright, happy-go-lucky bass house track that is very clearly inspired by Knock 2. The only difference between this and a typical Knock 2 track is that this song is much more happy in tone. This might be one of Retrovision's best songs. And finally, we've got Kid and Glitch Boy with Scapegoat from the new Listen While Driving Late at Night EP. I adore this track for how unique it is. Mainline production-wise, it's a fairly simplistic drum and bass track with a constant beat, but it's all that's going on around the track that really makes it so enjoyable to me. The glitchy sustains, filtered synths, and subtle vocal chanting makes this a truly moving track that, as the EP implies, is perfect to listen to while driving late at night. Well, that's been This Week in EDM. Let me know what you guys think of any and all songs in the comment section below. But other than that, I'm Dakota from Bowtied Media, and I'll see you guys in another video.